Have you ever wondered if angels could fall from grace? What if I told you that ancient texts describe a time when celestial beings not only fell, but also walked among us, changing the course of humanity forever? This isn't a modern fantasy story. It's a tale from the ancient and mysterious Book of Enoch. Let's dive into the story of the Watchers. Imagine a time, long before our recorded history, when the earth was young. High above, in the celestial realm, a group of angels known as the Watchers were given a sacred task to watch over and guide humanity. But something went terribly wrong. 200 of these divine guardians, led by a figure named Shemihaza, made a pact. They looked down upon the daughters of men and were consumed by desire. Breaking their sacred oath, they descended from the heavens, landing on Mount Hermon. This wasn't a gentle visit. It was a transgression of cosmic proportions. They took human wives, an act strictly forbidden by divine law. This union of celestial and mortal was unnatural, and from it a new race was born, the Nephilim. The Book of Enoch describes the Nephilim as giants, beings of incredible size and strength. But they weren't gentle giants. Their existence was a perversion of nature, and they brought chaos and violence to the world. They were said to have an insatiable appetite, devouring all the resources of mankind. When that wasn't enough, they turned on humanity itself, and eventually on each other. The world descended into a nightmare of bloodshed and destruction, all because of this forbidden union. But the Watchers' sins didn't end with their lust. They brought with them forbidden knowledge, secrets of heaven that humanity was never meant to possess. This is where the story gets even more fascinating. The leader of another faction of fallen angels, a being named Azazel, taught humans the art of warfare. He showed them how to forge swords, craft shields, and make armor. He introduced them to cosmetic Stygian women about eyeliner and adornments, which the text links to deception and vanity. Suddenly, humanity had the tools for organized conflict and social deceit. Other Watchers taught different, equally corrupting secrets. They revealed the arts of sorcery, root cutting for magical purposes, astrology, and the reading of the stars to foretell events. They taught how to interpret the signs of the moon and the sun, not for science, but for divination. Humanity, once innocent, was now armed with knowledge that amplified their worst impulses: greed, violence, and the lust for power. The world became a twisted reflection of the Watchers' own corruption. As you can imagine, this chaos did not go unnoticed. High above, God saw the defilement of his creation. The cries of the oppressed and the dying rose to the heavens. The righteous angels, like Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Uriel, witnessed the lawlessness and reported it to the Most High. The verdict was swift and absolute. God pronounced judgment upon the fallen Watchers. They were condemned for abandoning their celestial posts and corrupting the earth. The archangels were dispatched as agents of divine justice. Gabriel was sent to incite the giants, the Nephilim, to war against one another, leading to their mutual destruction. Their violent reign would end in a bloody civil war among their own kind. The archangel Michael was given an even more severe task. He was commanded to seize Shemihaza and his followers, bind them hand and foot, and cast them into the dark, desolate places of the earth. They were to be imprisoned in darkness, buried beneath rocks and earth, to await the great day of judgment. Azazel, who taught the most destructive secrets, received a particularly harsh sentence. He was to be bound and cast into a jagged pit in the desert, his face covered in darkness until the final judgment, when he would be thrown into the eternal fire. This ancient story from the Book of Enoch is incredibly powerful. It paints a vivid picture of a rebellion in the heavens that had catastrophic consequences on earth. It's a story about the dangers of forbidden knowledge, the corrupting influence of power, and the consequences of abandoning one's sacred duty. The Watchers were meant to be guardians, but they became corrupters. Their desire led to the birth of monsters and plunged the world into an age of shadow and violence. So what does this all mean for us today? The Book of Enoch, while not part of the standard biblical canon for most Christian and Jewish traditions, was highly influential in early thought. It provides a unique and detailed explanation for the origin of evil and suffering in the world. It suggests that evil was unjust a human invention, but was introduced and amplified by celestial beings who betrayed their very nature. This tale has echoed through the centuries, influencing countless stories, mythologies, and even our modern ideas about fallen angels and demons. The Watchers represent a timeless archetype, the powerful being who, through pride and lust, falls from a position of honor and brings ruin upon those they were meant to protect. It serves as a profound cautionary tale. The story also raises fascinating questions. Why was this knowledge forbidden? Was it because humanity wasn't ready, or because the knowledge itself was inherently corrupting? And what about the final judgment? The Book of Enoch tells us the Watchers are still imprisoned, waiting. This has led to countless theories and interpretations over the millennia, with some believing their influence can still be felt in the world today. Whether you take the Book of Enoch as literal history, a symbolic allegory, or a foundational myth, its impact is undeniable. It's a gripping, dark, and thought-provoking narrative that challenges our understanding of good, evil, and the unseen forces that might shape our world. The story of the Watchers is a chilling reminder that the greatest threats can sometimes come from those who are meant to be our protectors. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into one of history's most mysterious texts. What are your thoughts on the Watchers and the Nephilim? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration of ancient mysteries, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Until next time, stay curious.